Can everyone see me? It's great that we start with a yawn on my channel. First upload of the week and she's yawning. Um, can you see me? Is everything clear? Can you hear everything? I don't know. I'll just wait for y'all to pile in. I'm gonna share this on Twitter so that some of y'all can join me. Um, I don't really know what the plan is for today's live stream.
You
Um,
know,
oh, you can pin chats now? Interesting. Um, I don't really know what the plan is for today. I know I haven't really uploaded anything this week, and that there are a couple of good reasons for it, and I'm gonna get into them in a little while. I'm just sharing this to Twitter. Whew. Uh, Also, I don't know what Puck Atheist is doing today. Usually they stream on a Sunday, and if they are streaming, go and check it out. Um, okay, got it. Who's in the chat? How is everybody? Is everybody okay? I hope everybody's doing well. Um, I'm just waiting for people to pile in, and I hope that people are around and that people will watch the show because if I'm being completely honest, I wouldn't watch the show. um, so, hello, Ahmed09. Welcome to the chat, and thank you for joining in. Happy to have you as always. You're a regular, so I'm really happy to see you. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I think that's the main thing. Like, I don't really know why I'm here or what I'm doing or why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, and it's like, that's one part of it, and then another part of it is just depression. And I don't really know how to go around that. Like my brain has been fuzzy for 2 weeks, and I just don't know. Like I don't know how to clear the fuzz. I posted a couple of poems on my blog yesterday that I was honestly like I was quite proud of them, which hasn't happened for me in a little while. I just keep making things that I'm not proud of, and I'm not happy with, and I'm not fulfilled by, and it doesn't upset me, but it makes me feel weird. My work is kind of like that as well. Like I'm working in a place that while I really enjoy the people that I work with and the clientele, the students that I support, like I really do enjoy that. I don't really stand for the place that I'm working at because the style of education there is very disciplinarian and that's just not within my ethos because I went to a school that was all focused on discipline and wasn't focused on any education and it was just awful. There's two other people who've joined the stream. If you guys can drop a couple of notes in the chat, I would love to say hi and just check on you and how you doing. And I hope everything's good. You good? Good. Um, so before I kind of dive into things, I do want to thank one special patron of mine who actually bought me this laptop. It is a very old model, as you can see, she's thick, but it was a MacBook that was, sorry, I'm umming a lot. It was a MacBook that was on my birthday wish list, and I put it there just to see if anyone would buy it for me. And I genuinely didn't. Okay, first of all, I genuinely didn't expect people to buy me things from my birthday wish list. I just made it because, at the recommendation of Zara K, who has been on my channel before, who has her own channel and will be uploading in the next month. Again, she's told me, I don't know, I can't confirm, but she's told me that she'll start uploading again in the next month. She kind of went, have you made a wish list? And I said, no. And she was like, you should, because people will buy you things. And I genuinely didn't expect people to buy me things. And I'm really, really pleasantly surprised that people have bought me things. People have bought me headphones. People have bought me, this laptop. William, thank you very much. People have bought me, books and series that I really wanted. People have bought me my favorite thing in the entire world, which is those hard collector's editions, Berserk volumes, again bought by William. Thank you so much. And I'm so overwhelmed by all of that because, like I said before, I never used to celebrate my birthday. I'm more of someone who buys people presents than someone who receives them, because I was always like the oldest. I was always the oldest cousin, and I was always the oldest sibling. So I would never get presents. I would never receive presents. I was always the one giving presents, and I was fine with that. But it's such a weird experience for me to be able to receive things like as late as March. Like it's not even Aquarius season anymore. And I'm quite happily surprised by that, and I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for that. I really, really, really appreciate it, and I can't tell you how awkward it makes me feel, but also how happy it makes me feel. So thank you for that. As to why I haven't really been uploading this week, it's been two things. So the first thing is that there's a part of me that doesn't really know what to upload anymore. I still want to finish my series Walking Down Memory Lane, even though it doesn't really pull in people and people don't really want to watch that. Typically the videos that do really, really well on my channel are the ones that I'm angry in, and to be fair, I'm trying to bring a lot of that down. Like, I don't want to be angry in my videos because, first of all, I feel like it gives off a bad impression of who I am in person. Like, I'm not a very angry person in person. Those of you who met me at the shunning event, there was a couple of you who took, pictures with me, and I was very flattered, by the way. It makes me very awkward, but I was very flattered by it all. A lot of, I think there was like this discrepancy with, oh, you're a lot calmer in person than we expected. And I am a pretty, I have chaotic energy because I have that ascending Leo in my star sign. I'm joking. I have a lot of chaotic energy because I'm able to use a lot of my energy in one go and dedicate all of my energy to one thing. I'm able to do that, and I can summon a lot of energy and be very high energy. But at the same time, I can be very calm and very mild. Like, animals have a wonderful time around me. Like, I'm a very soothing experience to be around because as much as I enjoy talking, and I think a lot of people can confirm that I'm a bit of an interrupter if I'm very passionate about something, I'm also very much a listener, and I like listening to people. And something I said to Alicia a couple of days ago and a couple of other friends a couple of days ago is that I think I enjoy making acquaintances. Like, I like meeting people and getting to know people. So for a lot of the videos that I make, I don't want to be this hyper angry person that's always screaming at the camera, although that's very entertaining to watch. Like, I've watched a couple of those back quite a few times. And is the volume low? Are you picking this up? Is this helping at all? Or I don't know. Hello? I don't know if the microphone... Let me try replay. Give me a sec. My phone's been having a couple of troubles, so I need to get a new one. Sorry. Technical difficulties at Faye's house. But yeah, I'm quite a calm person in person, so I don't want to make a lot of angry videos, but I feel like in terms of my channel, that's what pulls most people's attention, is when I'm angry, when I'm ranting about something. Like, we haven't done a sin score in a while, and to be honest, the reason for that is that I haven't needed to do one. I've had the pleasure of just having quite pleasant experiences recently with, certain family members, certain friends, certain people around me, people in my community. I've just had quite positive experiences, despite 2020 kind of being a train wreck with, Rona season and other things. I've had quite pleasant experiences all round. It's just been my personal, internal spiral that's been negative so far. In terms of some of the questions that have come through, you look calmer in person. You really do fit the most gracious criteria because I find you handle yourself with serious cool. I find it was fine having it hanging. Sound is fine. Okay, great. Thank you for that. And thank you for mentioning that you find me a calm person in person. But I think that anyone who checks out like my popular playlist, like the videos that are popular on my channel, you wouldn't think that I was a calm person, you know? You just wouldn't think that because a lot of it is like screaming and shouting and me being like really angry or like crying. And I don't know how much of that content I want to continue making. Obviously, like I think that especially the content with where it's like cathartic for me, where I like sit down and I cry about some of the things that have really hurt me in the past. I think that that's really important because it's my mission to make people comfortable crying, because I was never made to feel comfortable crying. I was just never made to feel comfortable in that way, growing up and being a young person. But I think that it's really important for me to instill that into people, that it's okay. Like if I can do it on the internet and it's going to be here forever, it's okay for you to do it in the privacy of your home, you know, in front of your loved ones. It's perfectly fine. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm having a tough time reassessing what I want out of the things in my channel. I also really want to dedicate a lot more time to writing and investing in writing. I posted a tweet today, like I really want to understand, because I've published a couple of things in the past, but I didn't go through the process. Someone approached me to publish some of my work as audiobooks. So there's that going on. But I want to know how to take the steps to publish some of the work that I've written, you know, as those of you who joined me for, and I might do some reading today, I don't know. But for those of you who joined me for my dramatic reading session a couple of live streams ago, I've got a bit of a knack for writing. Like, I'm not going to say that I'm the greatest writer of all time, but I have ideas and I want to write, and I think that I'm good at it, you know, and I want to throw my hat in the ring and I want to see how far it can go. And it's just, I don't know. I want to find, like, I want tips, I want hints, I want tricks. I had the pleasure of someone in the, like, skeptic community, Blue Collar Heathen. If you're not following him, go follow him because he's great. He read some of my work, like, something that I'm genuinely proud of. It was one of the stories that, I think it was one of the stories that I was fully proud of and I fully finished. And he had the pleasure of reading it and dissecting it. I actually sent him only, like, half the story, and then I realized I needed to send him the full manuscript, so he hasn't got back to me on the full manuscript. But I had the pleasure of having him read it and critique it, and I saw a lot of like problems that I have in my writing. A lot of my characters just pass out for no reason, and I need to find a better way of like transitioning. Like, I don't know, but I found that really helpful, and I want to find ways of, because that's my ultimate goal. Like I enjoy the activism. I want to continue the activism. I will always do the activism because, you know, it's my cause. It's something that I've been through, and it's something that I believe in, and it's something that I will always stand by. Is that I will stand by a cause that is willing to, you know, that shows something that I've experienced. And, you know, there are a couple of projects that I'm working in the background. There are a couple of speeches and, you know, panels that I've done, and I will do in future. Oh, that's another thing. DaveCon has also been postponed because of Rona season, because of the virus. So I think Dave's planning to hold it in September rather than in the next month, which is a shame because I had a whole costume ready for summer. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And the other thing is that I want to slowly transition from doing like a normal 9 to 5 job to being self-employed. And I don't really know how to do that because I'm not very good with my finances. For those of you who are unaware, I'm not very good with my finances, and I'm not very good at managing me, and I'm not very good at just sometimes pulling myself out of a slump and telling myself, you just need to get this done. I used to be really good at it, like, and this is why I sometimes say, I don't think I'm made for like peaceful living. I think I'm made to be stressed all the time because I work so much better being constantly stressed and putting off my problems, because then I'm able to prioritize really well. Because when I was living in my father's house, then I just had like a rude awakening about that this morning because I was having a terrible dream and I actually woke up crying. And I've never woke up, like, I'm not phased by it now. It will probably phase me in a couple of days, but I'm not phased by it right now. But I like woke up like convulsing and crying, and I couldn't like stop myself for a little while. And I like a couple of, I want to say like 20 minutes after that, I like sat up and I was like, that was a really hard time for me, but I feel like I got so much more done back then. Like I was able to just understand what the next thing was. Like I knew what I had to do, what I had to get done, how to manage things. Like I'm good in stress. I'm not good in like I'm not good at being happy. I've realized that. Like I'm not good at just like sitting down and being able to just chill out. Like I'm not good at that. I don't know how to manage it and I don't know how to be. And I just feel like, when is this going to end so that I can do the next thing? And I don't know if that's good or if that's bad. I have a feeling it's not great. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It feels weird. It feels weird. That's what it feels like. So I feel like if I'm not stressed out, then I'm not doing anything. And it's stupid is what it is. It's dumb. Like I don't want to feel like that. Like I just don't, but there's a part of me that feels like I have to feel like that. Otherwise, what is living, And I don't know, maybe that's something fucked up in my head. Maybe that's something, I have to address on a personal level that I can't really talk out. But it is something like that. But because of that, because I'm not able to just like pull myself out of bed some days, I don't know if I have the capacity to be self-employed and be able to make it that way. Like I want to do creative things, so I want to continue doing YouTube. YouTube is something that I definitely want to continue doing and like actually build a platform off of and earn money through and do brand deals and things like that. And I feel like that's the life for me. Like I don't think that I can sit and do a regular 9 to 5 because like I said, it becomes very comfortable very quickly and I don't like being comfortable. That's what I've realized about me. So I want to do YouTube. I want to write books, or just do some form of writing, be that poetry, be that books, creativity, novels, memoirs, whatever, like that's what I want to do. I want to continue doing my activism. I want to continue giving to a good cause. And from my earliest days, from being a young kid, I've always been the creative type. Like even when I was ultra religious, like even when I was super conservative, I wanted to be a speaker. Like I always felt like that was my calling. Because I was always super articulate. I was always good in my written work and I was always really good off the cuff. I was a super shy kid, to be honest, when I was really young, which is very ironic now, but I was very, very, unconfident. And to be honest, I was unconfident until last year. I was talking to a coworker, on Friday because I like to meet up with my coworkers every now and then because I know one of them is kind of in a crisis situation, but she doesn't want to get out. She's like in a weird position right now. But I like to meet up with them, and I was talking to a coworker and I was telling her about my this is going to be a hella demonetized video, but I was telling her about my shrooms trip in Amsterdam. For those of you who don't know, I took shrooms in Amsterdam. I did a video about it when I went to Amsterdam last year. I went for the Diwali conference. It was a celebration of Descent. It was celebrating Descent. That was the name of the event. And we went there and we did psychedelics in the back of... okay, I don't know if anyone's going to appreciate me naming them and shaming them, but quite a few of us did shrooms in the back of Diwali. People that you know, people that you have watched, people that have been on this channel. Not going to name names, but some of us... Oh, hi, Nerdy Rodent. Welcome. I should say hi, and then I'll move into the story. Welcome Paul, welcome Nerdy Rodent. Nerdy Rodent, you are the moderator so far, and thank you for joining me. I don't know what keeps bringing you back here, but I am very appreciative of you being here. I hope you are surviving this Rona season. I think I'll leave the questions for a little bit. I know Marcus has given me a string of things to read, and I will read them out in a second because sometimes the chats don't show up on my live streams for whatever reason. But I had a shrooms trip in Amsterdam. Quite a few of us did it, and I am still not given enough credit for the fact that I was the only one who stayed in the venue while I was high for 5 hours, and then I drifted, the high wore off. Everyone else went back to their hotel rooms or went to somewhere else. I was the only one who stayed and lived through talking really intellectual conversations. And I feel like I was shy up until that point. I was shy up until me going to that conference and being high and talking to people super confidently while I was high. And I don't want to call it a spiritual awakening because I don't believe that's a thing. But I do feel as though it made me realize, hey, if I'm just myself, like nothing bad happened. Like I was just myself. I was talking to people confidently about the ideas that I had, and I don't need to be nervous about what I say. At the end of the day, there's very little that I can go wrong with if I'm just talking honestly. And that's where I feel like a lot of this confidence came out of. And I don't want to put down all my confidence to drugs because as an educator, I really don't want to, advise that please be safe. If you're gonna do it, the best place to do it is in Amsterdam, because honestly I can't think of a safer city. Even though I will always tell you, I will always, from the bottom of my heart, no matter where this takes me, London is the greatest city in the world. Amsterdam is way safer than London. Do not do shrooms in London. It's probably a bad idea. I don't know, and it's illegal here, so don't do it. But a lot of my confidence came from there. And like, even as recent as last week, like after sitting on that panel, after knowing that it went super, super well, like I had to ask like 5 people, how did I do? Because I don't know. And I'm like, sometimes I get self-conscious after the fact. I don't let it get to me. And this is the thing, like I never let anything get to me in the moment. It always comes afterwards where I'll like spiral and I'll think like, did I really do a good job? Did I really come off? Did I piss somebody off? Because the thing was, I dressed hella obnoxious for that event. Like, I'm not even going to try and hide behind that. I looked good. I looked damn fine. I looked hot. All I could do was stare at me afterwards. Or like all the pictures that came out, and I wish I took more pictures. I didn't take enough pictures. All I could do was stare at all the pictures of me afterwards and think, man, I look so good. Like, I really rocked that outfit. But then I felt like super guilty because I was like, I wasn't the star of the show, and I feel like I stole the star of the show, who is Nesmia Oral, and is a queen. Like, she is wonderful. I feel like I stole her spotlight because you could tell that I was the obnoxious YouTuber in that, and like everyone was like, no, what are you talking about? Like, you looked great, you spoke well. I also felt like I talked too much, and Mariam told me, look, I got you here so you could talk. And I was like, so something that you guys haven't met him on this channel, but he's at almost every single one of these events, and I've called him my soulmate. I've called him my drug mother. Carl is my support system at all these things. And I think the moment I got out of that, like, I got off the stage or the seat, like, where I was talking, the moment I got out and I got stopped by several people, and I do not, like, you don't need to feel bad about that. You are fully justified in doing that. But my first thought was, Carl, I need to find Carl, please help me, Carl. I need to check with Carl, because he's always just there. He's just my comfort. Like, every time I feel like something's going wrong in an event and he's there, I have to go and find him, and I need to just be like, how did I do? Am I okay? Can you tell me that I'm okay? Because if you tell me that I'm okay, then I'm okay, you know? And I was just like constantly getting frustrated. I'm pretty sure I told somebody like, I really, really want to talk to you, but I need to do something really quickly and then I will come back to you. And I'm pretty sure I did. But I like ran away. I like found Carl and I asked him, how did I do? And he said, you did wonderfully. Why are you even asking? You know you did wonderfully. And I was like, because I don't know. I don't know if I did well. I don't know if I did the right thing. I don't know if I spoke too much, if I was being too obnoxious, if this was a poor choice, like this outfit was a poor choice, if, you know, I'm ever going to be invited to something like this again, because if I fucked it up, that might be the last time that I'm here, and I don't want that. And that, like, that's just my brain like spiraling. He's like, no, you did great. Like, you were the only person on the panel who had a truly upsetting experience with shunning, because that's what the topic of the conference was about. You had, like, the be-all and end-all terrible experience with shunning, where you are completely outcast from your family, and Mariam needed that represented, and she picked the best person for it. And it's this constant dichotomy of like, it's just like duality of myself, where it's like I am the best at what I can do. Like there's this voice that's just like, you are the best, you can do it, like just go out there and do it. And then there's like this imminent regret afterwards that's just like, did I do a good job? Am I doing this well? Have I done this well? Could I have done that better? And it's just like this defeat, like this it's, I don't know if I'm bipolar. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I need to like get checked for it. Because there's this imminent, there's two very distinct drivers in my head, and it's very much a contrast of, like how I said before, like I have very chaotic energy, I'm very, very energetic, I have like this go 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 mentality, and it's kind of bred from my kind of fight or flight mentality. Like I can do things on a whim very, very quickly, but then there's like this also like this just not very happy voice that's just like, you're doing this wrong, like you should take a step back, like hold back a little while. And yeah, it's like I have a voice of greatness, and I have a voice of, you're absolute, like a steaming pile of shit, like what did you just do, why would you do that? And it's just like this doubt voice, and I really I have a weird relationship with that doubt voice, because I think that I need it to stay grounded, and I don't know if that's healthy or not, but I also think that it like stops me from doing a lot of things that I want to do. Like I have all these ideas. I have all these ideas in my brain, and I think that some of you will testify that some of my ideas are a little crazy, and others will be like, you're a genius. Like, again, that's like my dichotomy speaking to me again. But I have all these ideas in my brain that I want to like see into fruition, but because of my doubt voice, I will be like, no, it's too soon for that. You don't have the money for that. No one will fund that. You can't, like, the amount of ideas that I've just said in live streams, in podcasts, in just in conversations. Like an idea I was talking to Mimsy, and she was like, never say this because someone will steal it. And honestly, I'm up for people stealing my ideas, because I will never do them. That's just my brain. I will never do them. So if someone wants to do it, go and do it, because I feel like I will never do it. But I thought an amazing idea. Y'all know Cards Against Humanity. Like, Cards Against Humanity is like, I love that game. I've only played it a couple of times, but it's a wonderful way to get to know somebody. But I thought, what if we made a Cards Against Humanity that was all like based on Islam, like Islam edition? It would be hysterical, and I would fund that. I would start a Kickstarter for that. I would love to do that. I would write all the cards. I would sell that. I would represent that. Like, if somebody started that and then asked me, hey, would you like shout this like idea out, I would represent that, because I think that that's a brilliant idea, and it's a perfect way of having fun and also being a blasphemer, which is very much like my aesthetic right now. But yeah, there's this constant, I was trying to explain this to Apostate Prophet's wife, Jana Ayademe, who's like wonderful. She's a wonderful human being. She's also a patron of mine. And there have been times where I just want to talk to her. But I was talking to her, and after she read one of my blog posts, and she told me that I write really well. And I was like, I constantly feel like I'm drowning. Like, I constantly feel like I'm drowning, and I have the tools to get out of the water, but like my own hand is pushing me underwater. Like, that's what I feel like sometimes. Like, I have the drive to get out of water and just find an island and fight for survival, but sometimes my own hand is just pushing me into the water, and I don't know how to stop that. Like, I just don't. I've talked about like how it's, oof, I'm gonna cry, and I don't want to cry. Like, let's not cry on this live stream. We're resting. I have talked about like my depression spiral for the last 6 months, because the NHS wouldn't take it seriously 6 months ago, and now they are. They are taking it seriously, and I'm taking steps. You don't need to worry about me. The worst feeling for me is people like pitying me and worrying about me. Like, if I'm saying depressing things, I just want you to agree with me, because I will get over it. Like, I'm I have like that greatness drive is big enough that I will be able to get over it in time. And I know I'm searching for help, and I have help, and I have support systems, I have friends, everything's good, everything's Gucci. Everything is not perfect, but everything's Gucci. Like, I'm gonna be fine. But like with this spiral, it's just been because I'm on new medication as well. I don't want to show off. Is my address on this? My full name's on it, so I don't want to show it off. But like, I'm on these, and like, people know I'm not gonna put that. Anyways, I'm on these now, and because of that, I'm having like these really high highs. Like, people will see me at work, and I'm like skipping around, and I'm talking shit to the students. Not like I'm talking now. Like, I can't swear in front of them or anything like that. But I'm going through these really high highs, and I'm going through these really low lows. Like, people are, and usually when I'm going through a low, nobody can notice because I've gotten so used to like lying about how I feel that it comes really easily to me, and it's not a good thing. It's never been a good thing, and it will never be a good thing. And I don't think I'm ever going to be someone who's just going to be like, especially if I don't know you, that's just going to be like, yeah, I'm doing pretty shitty today. I'm never going to be that person. I'm always going to be like, I won't lie to you, but I will be like, I'm doing okay. Could be doing better, but I'm doing okay. Like, I'm surviving. And then they'll tell me about their problems, and then I'm in it. Um, but yeah, people have been noticing, and that's something that's very new to me. Like, I'm not used to people being like, we know you're not okay, you know, and, we want to help cheer you up. And I don't think people know how to cheer me up, because the way that I cheer myself up, and it's very bizarre, even to people who know me really well and are very like me, it's very bizarre how I cheer myself up, because I know how to do it. Like, I know how to switch it off, but sometimes I don't want to. And that's the real kicker. Like, sometimes I feel like I need to be sad, and I don't know if that's part of healing. I don't know. But sometimes I feel like I either want to be or I need to be, like right now, because of what I'm going through, I feel like it's normal and I have to go through it. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm so sorry for anyone who just walked in. Hi, welcome. But it's a bizarre, like, way of, because I know that if something's frustrating me, like, in the moment, I can have like a 2 to 5 minute just power cry. Like, I can turn on all the taps in like any setting that I'm in. I can go to the bathroom, turn on all the taps, power cry for like 2 to 5 minutes, and I'm over it. Like, I'm done. Like, it will never occur to me again. And then, like, if it does, like, I can call up a friend, and I'm no longer like upset about it. I'm just angry about it, and I'll just like rant about it for half an hour to an hour, and I'm over it. It's done. How many things in the last year have like fucked with me that I'm over after doing a rant video? It's just gone. It's never in my brain again. Like that whole thing with Asadullah, which wasn't even really a rant. It was just me feeling sorry for him, because I don't understand him. He fully watched my entire hijab video because I saw his comments underneath, and he didn't address any of my points. He just called me a moron. Which, well, no, it wasn't the hijab video. It was the pedophilia video that I did, which I still think is pretty comprehensive. And anyone who's trying to argue that, just send them that video. I'm done arguing about that. I hate having that disgusting conversation. And if for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's the one where I talk about the age of Muhammad's child bride. It's called Pedophilia in Islam, I think. But yeah, it's still pretty cohesive, and I haven't seen any new arguments. So, I mean, there's a lot of swearing, and I'm very visibly angry, but I haven't seen a reaction video. So, as far as I'm aware, I've won. Don't like saying that, because for me, it's not a competition, but you really have to try to defend pedophilia to me, okay? Like, some people are just not trying. Like, are you stupid? Are you dumb? I don't understand. Sorry. Moving on. But yeah, I know how to make myself happy, but sometimes, like, in the last week, I have been, I want to say from Monday, because after, not from Monday, from Tuesday. So after the event, super, super happy. Like, it was a great time. I had a wonderful experience. I was super drained on Monday because we got back late. I was meant to go to work, didn't end up going because I just could not. I did not have the energy. I was completely like sore from speaking. That's how I get. And I just called in and I said, hey, look, I can't come in Monday. It's just not possible. And from Tuesday, I don't know what it was. There was one small incident that I power cried about, and then I was over. I'm not going to bring it up just because it's work related, and I don't want to blow this person's spot. It's just not. I don't want to bring it into, like, I want to keep those lives separate. But it, like, I don't know what it was. It was like this bleeding effect from that one incident, and then I'm suddenly like depressed for the rest of the week, and people were noticing. Like, I'm normally the person that pulls other people up at work, like, come on, let's get it done. Like, it's almost the end of the week. Like, let's put a smile on your face. You get a cake, like, you get a biscuit. Let's get you a coffee. Like, I'm that person, at work. If somebody's upset, I'm always the one that's like sitting down and being like, hey, what happened? And they'll like rant about whatever, problem is bothering them. Like, one of my coworkers, like, he got a new car and he crashed it the first day he got his new car because they gave him a lousy parking spot at work. And I was like, man, that's like really awful. But I didn't find out until like a couple of days afterwards. It made me very upset. Like, why didn't you bring me this? And he was like, because you just looked so sad this week. Like, you were clearly going through something. And I was like, I wasn't going through anything. I'm just miserable for no reason. Like, that's what I am. You can always tell me things. And that like made me even more depressed. Like, people think I'm upset. I'm not. I'm depressed, but I'm not upset. Like, like, I'm just like mentally, I'm just bored. That's what it is. Like, my mind is just like, it's like white noise in my brain, and like that's what I'm carrying around in my head, and people think that something's going on. Nothing is. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? And he was like, because I've been, like, he said to me, I've been trying to rack my brain to try and cheer you up, but I don't know how to. And I was like, that doesn't surprise me, because I'm the only one who knows how to cheer me up, honestly, sometimes. And again, like, sometimes I feel like I want to be upset because I need to go through it. I don't know. My brain. I'm going to go through the chat because this is getting too much for me, and I also feel like for you guys, so I'm going to go through the chat. But yeah, Marcus Tanbeck, who you're a frequent to my channel, can I just say thank you for all of you people like Rory, Ahmed09, Paul, for all of you who frequently visit my channel and watch all my live streams and watch all my videos. Thank you so much. Like, I cannot thank you enough, because this is like something I said from the beginning of my channel, is that I need a routine, and I don't like confining myself to a routine because your bitch is chaotic. And this gives me like a framework to always structure my week by. Like, this is what I plan around now. Like, I know I haven't stuck to it this week, but it's honestly because my brain, and also because I feel like I uploaded a lot last Sunday, so I was like, you know what, it will keel over. But it really gives me a framework to work around. Like, I always have, no, I can't meet up with you Wednesday, I have a video to record. I can't do Sunday, I have a video to record, Or like, if I have to move things around, I'll always say, I can't do that, Like, I have something, I have me time. I have something to do for me that I will always commit to, So I can't thank you enough. Shane Wilson, you're another one of my regulars. Like, thank you so much for being here and giving me, because if you weren't here, I honestly don't know how long this would last. I know that I say that I don't do a lot of the content that I do for the views, and I genuinely don't think I do, because a lot of my content doesn't get the most views. Like, I know how to get views, like I said, and screaming and angry and tits in the thumbnail. Like, I know how to do that. I have the assets. But, I just genuinely appreciate my regulars, and I don't know if you're here because you're worried about me, which, genuine, I understand, or if you're just here because you enjoy my content, and I really, really appreciate that, so thank you. and also to my patrons who actually support me monetarily. Like I'm very, very thankful for that. Like I don't have the most. I'm not the most successful human being on the planet, or the most successful YouTuber, or even the most successful ex-Muslim, which I didn't even know was a thing. But you know, I feel like it brings me to a place, you know, like I have somewhere to be two or three times a week, and it makes me happy. And like I also know that people I know in real life watch these videos, and they're like, oh, we watched that video and that was a really interesting point that you made, you know. And I'm always overwhelmed, like people in real life watch these videos, because sometimes it feels like a video game, like it doesn't feel real that people watch these things. And yeah, I just, for me to feel that way is very unique, because I'm not used to feeling special. Like I like to act like I'm special, because again, like I have a greatness voice, but I'm not used to feeling like that, because I was always the weird kid, I was always the underdog, no one was ever rooting for me in my family. So I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna stop, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for, you know, the things that you get for me, the things that you allow me to do, the fact that you even put up with me, the fact that my moderators come back to my live streams and moderate for me. Like, thank you for that. Nerdy wrote it. Thank you for that. Like, I don't know how you put up with me. Because I don't know how I put up with me, you know? So, in all seriousness, thank you. But getting into the chat, sorry. You said, Marcus Timbeck says, that is what I found so powerful about it, Faye. I think that it is good that you take a change of direction. You have the emotional capacity to turn that into fine writing as well. I really, really, really want to get back on the writing horse. I've definitely tried, and I'm definitely continuing to try. Like I'm trying to do a poem a week. That's what I'm doing. A lot of them aren't being published because I'm trying to also put together a creative writing project that I can't talk about as of yet, because I'm not allowed to, and I've already been told off for saying too much. But I'm trying to put that together. I don't think it will be done by this year, because your girl needs to write a lot of poems, because I'm not getting a lot of contributions. Saf, who was on my channel last week, has contributed quite a lot, so I still need to look through those. But I'm trying to do a poem a week, and I'm also like storyboarding or like planning out story ideas that I can write about. Because as much as I love my old work, and I will eventually start reading some of my old work as well on this channel, because I have a deep, deep love for my old work and the site that I used to write on. I actually sent them a lovely email today telling them how much they helped me through, because writing was very much a coping mechanism for me, and I guess that was how I got good. But yeah, it was just such a... I think aside from like actual religion, it was the only spiritual thing for me, because I felt like I was in my own head, like I understood the world that I was building, I understood all of the characters, like I knew them like they were real people. I don't know if that sounds crazy or not. I knew, like I could visualize them, I knew what they looked like, I knew what this landscape looked like, I knew what their emotions were, because I would empathize with them, if that makes sense. Like it was very much in my own writing while I was writing it, and I want to feel that again. And I think that a lot of times I don't feel that when I write some of my work, and it's sad, because I want to get back to that, where I'm like sitting and I'm thinking, okay, like I know this character from top to bottom. They are nothing like me. They look like this is their personality. What would they do in this situation? And then like write that out. Like there's so many, like I've written through a lot of stressful scenes, and that again is like a coping mechanism. Like I created this world so that I could find a way to cope. And I would write them through funny scenes, and I would make them say funny things, and I want to feel like that again. Like I want to be taken away to these own like little worlds that I can create. I don't know who's laughing next door, but I'm sure they're having a great time. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Rory says, Faye, when you get a job, will you get a dog as a pet? I really want a dog. Like I desperately want a dog, but London is not a city for a dog. I'm sorry. It's just not. Like, the area that I'm in is actually quite dog friendly because we have a lot of parks, we have a lot of running space, but like the place where I live is really tiny. Like, I would have to get a very small dog for him to put up with this. Like, I would not be able to get a dog that, ideally that I would want. Like, I love big dogs. I love scary looking dogs. Like, I love Rottweilers. I think Dobermans are my favorite breed. I think they're wonderful. I think they're very regal looking, and I love them just that I just think they're beautiful, but I would have to get a tiny little dog. And it's just, I wouldn't want to coop him up in a tiny little apartment. Also, there are a lot of responsibility, and I want to feel like I'm ready, but I do desperately want a dog. Maybe I'll get a little dog in the coming years, but that will be when my career takes off and I'm actually making, money. Like right now, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck. Even then, not really. I'm kind of also living off credit and money that I'm making off PayPal. So anyone who wants to donate, please do. This is not like I'm fine, I'll survive. Like I'm definitely like just living my life, but I would appreciate anything you can give. It's very, very well appreciated and well received, and I'll admit I'm not the best at managing my finances. I'm not the best at like keeping a hold of my money sometimes because I get excited about new looks and new creations and things that I can do with that money. But I do very much appreciate it. So thank you so much to my patrons and anyone who's given me a one-off donation. I I just appreciate it so much. Marcus says, admitting you have room to grow is the best way to take aim at higher quality work. I think that it was potent that you got the past up to the surface so you can make some peace with it. You had a flashback. It sounds like some old memories of living on your left brain half, unlike now where you are saying you prefer living with your right brain half. I don't know. So the dream that I had was like a revisit to when I was living in my father's house, and how like anytime I said anything, he would just like beat the hell out of us. And I've never woken up like okay, that's not true. There was one dream that I woke up to that I was like crying because I thought like my mom was in the dream and she was convincing me that she hadn't died, and I woke up crying because I realized that it was a dream. And like this was a very similar experience to that, and that one I had to like work through over a couple of days. But this one, because I've had a similar dream in the past, I feel like I got over it much quicker. But it was just a revisitation, and like I think I've done a video about like my daddy issues in the past and how like I can never reconcile it because I have all these confusing feelings about my dad, because I have obviously really positive memories with him, but also like these really horrible, like overwhelmingly horrible memories with him, and I can never like reconcile that. I'm never able to like fix that, because when you let go of something, you don't think about it anymore. And I find myself constantly thinking about my dad sometimes. Like yesterday, I was thinking about like, what if he because my dad was like a heavy smoker, and like, what if he was dying? Like, would I want to go see him? Would I forgive him? Like, I was thinking about that. In terms of like, if he got the coronavirus, like he'd probably be very susceptible to it. And sometimes I think like, oh, if he just died, everything would be solved. Like maybe that's a bad thing to think. I don't know. But I think that sometimes. And other times I'm like, I hate that I would feel sad that he died, you know? I really don't want to cry in this fucking live stream. Stop making me cry. But yeah, it's just things like that. Like I'll think one thing and then it translates into a very vivid dream, and then I'm waking up and I'm thinking like, what is my brain? How is my life? Who am I? You know? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Sometimes, because like I did a live stream. So I did a live stream with Alicia about palm reading. I did a live stream with Saf about, the zodiac and all of that. And I love fun stuff. I don't believe in any of it. A zodiac is just a bunch of Barnum statements. So is palm reading. but I think that there's something interesting about it, and I want to know what draws people to it. Like, I still want to have a haunted house experience. You know, as a skeptic, I'm even though I know it's not true, that doesn't mean I can't be thrilled by it. You know, as someone who is invested in the arts, just because something is fake doesn't mean you can't appreciate it. You know, that goes for movies, it goes for books, it goes for artwork, it goes for everything. You know, just because it's not real and you know it's not real doesn't mean you can't take something from it. And I really, really want to look into like the dream interpretation world. But I don't know who best to do that with, because I find that there are a lot of naysayers in the skeptic community that's just like, you shouldn't waste your time with this. And for me, it's not wasted time, because I'll always get something from it. Even all the bad experiences that I've been through, and y'all know I've been through some terrible experiences, even all the bad experiences that I've been through, I've always found a way to take something from it, be that a lesson or a funny story to share later, you know, or an experience that I can, you know, pass on to someone else who's going through something very similar. I don't believe in wasted time, even though my brain will often say, you're wasting your time by sleeping and eating and shitting around. Like, you're wasting your time. Like, my brain will often say that, but I deep down, I don't think I believe in wasted time. I think that all the time that you spend, there's always something to gain from it. Even if you're just like I've had days where I'll just sit at home, not eat, not do anything productive, just sit at home, watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and that's my day, and I'll feel like I've wasted a day today. But there's a part of me that really, really needs that, you know? So I understand. I understand me. Thanks, me. You know? Anyways, that was a weird tangent. Marcus Tanvik says, humans have a duality. Your left side handles what you know, your routine and your base and your knowledge. Your right side handles chaos coming at you, managing inputs, learning something new, using abstracts. I don't know. Sometimes when my brain is just a mess. I don't want to say like voices, because I feel like that scares people, but they are different voices, because I'll have different types of thoughts. Like, there's thoughts that are just like processing thoughts, like gotta eat, gotta brush my teeth, gotta wash my face, gotta do my makeup, you know, gotta do my hair, whatever. And then there's like, I have a greatness voice, which is just, you know, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Like, you can do this, you're the best at this, you did the best at this, like, you're wonderful, you can, like, I have that voice, like, it's there. I have a fundamentalist voice that's always in the back seat judging the hell out of me, that's just like, you know, that's haram, you know, that's haram, you know, this is like, you're gonna burn in hell. Like, she's just sitting in the back. I have a name for her. She's fundamentalist Faye. I have a defeatist voice. I have a depressive voice that's always like holding me down and like trying to choke the life out of me. And it's just like, you're a failure and you're gonna work in McDonald's, okay? Like, there's that voice as well. I have all these different thoughts and thought processes. I have extremely intrusive thoughts that I don't want to be there, which is just like pure demon, like in the demon in the back of my head that is just like, you don't deserve to eat today, or you don't deserve to see that friend, they're too good for you. Like, stuff like that will be in the back of my head, and even worse things, to be honest. But like, I don't know, I don't know how to put like all of that together. Kind of creates my creative process, and how like I make my artwork, sometimes how I make my videos, sometimes how I write especially when I write my work, because I feel like that enables me to be able to create very, and I always feel like I'm tooting my own horn, but my characters are often very, very realistic, because I'm able to create these different personalities of all these different, like a very wide spectrum. I also think because I have all these conflicting thoughts, that I'm never able to just like accept a label unless I'm 100% in on it. Like, unless I am a very all or nothing person, unless I am 100% invested in that label, I will not adhere to it. Like, I still won't adhere to the label feminist, because there are conflicting voices in here. Like, the third wave, like a lot of the third wave stuff I don't agree with, a lot of modern like Western feminism I don't agree with, so I can't adhere to that label. I just can't. And I think that's why, because I have all these voices. They're not voices because they don't speak to me, but they're thoughts that I have, and they're very different from each other sometimes. Sometimes they're very confusing and it upsets me, but you know, That's how we live. Marcus Tambeck again adds, "You sound like a creative type because the right side is always firing at high capacity." Yes, like once I am driven to do something, I will do it. But sometimes I learnt this phrase from when I was learning about Leonardo da Vinci. He was a chronic procrastinator. I think I'm one of those. Like once I'm like have an idea, I will shoot off and I'll be like very motivated to do it. And then like my depressive thought process will come in and just be like, you know that's never gonna succeed. Like nobody's ever gonna read that or watch that or appreciate that. So what's the fucking point? Like just sit back, like forget about it, you know? Like that's and also it's in that fucking accent as well, which is crazy. But anyways, Mimsy, I need to be on Mimsy's live stream at some point, but she's been super busy recently. She's trying to set up her house. Sorry, I'm just reading through the chat, so anyone who's joined recently, I will get to you in a little bit. There's a lot of things to get through. I really suggest you put some time off to read all sorts of things, poetry, technical books, subtitles to old movies, local newspapers. I want to invest a lot more time to reading. I really, really do. And I am trying. I've got a lot of books. My wonderful landlord bought me a bookshelf for my birthday, and I'm so appreciative of it because my room is so like open now. He bought me a bookshelf, so because I told him like I got a lot of books for my birthday, and yeah, I really want to invest a lot more time into reading, and I'm very excited for it. As I said in my last live stream, it is good practice for story writing to learn how to put a small story together. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to start doing is, like I did a few weeks ago, it must be a month now, is I'm going to start writing small stories that I'll just upload online or I'll read in a live stream, and then like I'll be able to rebuild my craft because I'm very out of practice. But I'm going to continuously write a poem every week. It's just a target for me. I did think about like taking a course, but your girl is kind of poor right now, so no. we're not paying for a creative writing course. We know how to write creatively. We just need to build our craft. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. Marcus says that voice afterwards, it will drive you to greatness, but a big warning, it is never satisfied. No, I'm fine with that. You have to keep a lid on it. It is a good thing that it speaks to you, it helps one improve. I have no problem with my greatness voice constantly telling me that I can do better. That's not the problem I have. It's my failure voice telling me that I'm a failure. I don't need that voice, but sometimes it does have some, even though it's quite harsh criticism, it's quite handy, you know? Nutty Rodent says, I have a doubt voice too. I use it for checks and balances. Yeah. Marcus Tambeck says, mastery is great, and having the drive to demand more of oneself is ennobling, but please do not push yourself too hard. Great practice on being creative in the form you like and create works. Cards Against Mohammedans. I mean, we'll see what we're gonna call it. I'm gonna bring it to Memsy and see if we can make it a real thing, because I really want to make it a real thing. I would love to write every single card in that deck. But we'll see. I don't think that Cards Against Humanity, because it's too controversial, I don't think that they would fund it, but I'm gonna pitch it because we have an activist meeting coming up, I think. And I really want to pitch it and see what everyone says. It took me a long, Nerdy Rodent says, it took me a long time to come off antidepressants, like over a year. I used to take them, so this is my first time taking them again in 2 years. So 2 years ago, I was on them for about 6 months. I thoroughly researched the brand that I was, well, not the brand, but the type of antidepressant that I was taking, how to get on them, how to get off them. So I got off them quite easily. It wasn't a hard process. I think that I had fewer side effects with the old one. It was citalopram, for those of you who knew it as no antidepressants. And I'm taking a different kind now. I have a few more side effects with this one, so it might not be as easy to get off them, but They haven't kicked in yet, so I don't know what they're like. But citalopram was a very mild antidepressant, and to be honest, all I needed was a very mild one. But I don't think for the episode that I'm having right now, a mild antidepressant would have helped, because with citalopram, what it did was because I had a lot of anxiety back then. I don't have as much anxiety now. I have episodes of anxiety, but I don't have like consistent continuous anxiety. Like I used to, my PTSD was really strong back then, so it just made me a little more carefree. Like it took the edge off, and that's all that I really needed back then. And I was also going to CBT at the time, so that helped me a lot in learning how to manage my anxiety and stuff like that. Right now, I don't need management in my anxiety. I need to get into deeper issues with my depression, but it's kind of difficult to find therapists who know exactly what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm struggling with. And also at a price that I can afford, because psychotherapy is not on the NHS. So yeah, I'm just trying to find like specific therapists for the specific things that I've gone through. So like bereavement is pretty easy to find, and I've gone through bereavement already. But like with isolation, like I can't really just go to estrangement, because estrangement is typically of one family member, but I've been completely banished, and I think that that's a whole different thing. So that's kind of difficult to find a therapist for. But you know, I will say that I'm doing better now than I was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was like full just get out of my brain, like I want to be in the ground kind of mentality. Like I just want to hide, I don't want to exist. Like I'm doing so much better now. And they haven't even kicked in yet, because they don't kick in for 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. So I've been taking them for about 3 weeks now, almost 3 weeks now. But like I'm in a way better headspace now than I was 3 weeks ago, and I cannot tell you how much better I am. Like I don't want to scare anybody, because I don't think that's fair. And also, please know that this is just like an hour and a half or an hour of my life compared to like 24 hours with me. Like I go through a lot of highs and lows. So I'm telling you, you don't need to worry about me. My friends are very aware of me. I tell my friends everything, even like the darkest, deepest things that I go through in my own brain. I tell them, and people are aware, and people care about me. I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me, but I appreciate it. Just know that I am doing way better now than I was 2 weeks ago. Welcome, Arn NN. Thank you for joining. Another regular of mine. That's Arn. It's nice to have support. Also, you mentioned Xbox stuff, and I'm a nerd, so I've never had an Xbox. One of my cousins had an Xbox. I'm not partial to any kind of games console, but I used to play PlayStation a lot more. Like I have more of a loyalty to PlayStation, but I really want to get a Switch to play video games on, because I've always found video games fascinating. At some point, like it's a dream of mine. I don't know if it will ever be fulfilled, but it's a dream of mine to one day write the story of a video game. I don't know how to do that, or how to get into that, or how that works, but it's a personal dream of mine to one day write the story of a video game. So any video game developers that you know out there, if they're ex-Muslim, hit me up, because I would love to collab and help you write a story that you can base a video game around, of like an indie game that we can put on Steam and let people test drive or whatever. I would love that. Like that, it's always been a personal dream of mine. I've always been invested in storytelling and story writing, and I think that video games are an underappreciated mode of storytelling. I think it really, really is. Like I recently watched a full playthrough. I watched Jacksepticeye's full playthrough of Death Stranding, because I've always been really, really interested in Hideo Kojima's writing. I think that he's a fascinating mind. I think he's a beautiful mind. I was never a huge fan of Silent Hill, but I would always watch, like, see the things that he put into the games, and how he conveyed stories, and how he conveyed symbolism. And it was very, very interesting always very interesting to me how he wrote things in. And I remembered like a few years back, there was a playable teaser PT that he made for Silent Hills, and Silent Hills never came out. So I was like, what happened with that? I didn't know. It like completely went over my head, because that was like when all my distress things were going on. So I looked into it and I realized that he had been fired from Konami and all of that stuff had happened, and he released Death Stranding instead, that featured Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro. I don't know how to say his name, but I don't know. But I watched all of Death Stranding, and from beginning to end, all of the playthrough, and I saw all of that creativity that was there, and it like inspired me. I was like, and a lot of the things that he had included in the game was a lot of things that I'm currently interested in. So like extinction events that happened before, and like I don't want to give spoilers for the video game because it's a really cool video game. Like it's not, it probably wouldn't be one that I would play because it seems really tedious, and I prefer grind heavy games. Like I like games that will stress me out because I enjoy that. Like I enjoy Dark Souls, I enjoy Bloodborne, I enjoy Monster Hunter. Like that's the kind of game that I like. But I don't really like tedious like I don't like tedious collection games, and that's kind of what that's like. But I really, really enjoyed the story. I think the story was amazing and it was super creative, and it's just nothing like I've seen in a movie. One of the reasons I don't really watch movies anymore is that I don't really find them creative. I find them kind of, you know, cheap ideas, rehashed ideas. Like I'll watch Marvel movies, for example, but a lot of them are kind of cookie cutter movies. Like I've seen it before somewhere, and none of it strikes me as like hyper creative. And Death Stranding was one of those stories. Let's call it that. Death Stranding was one of those stories that I was like, this is highly creative. Like I cannot pick one thing that a level of creation went into. Some of the characters were very, like, I didn't connect to them very well, but some of them, like, they were amazing. Like, I loved it. I thought that the twists were interesting. I thought that all the little subplots were interesting. You know, the funny points were funny. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. And a personal dream of mine is to make a video game like that. Like, I want to be the next Hideo Kojima. Like, I want to be a brilliant mind that makes these super interesting video games that people are just like a vlogger will make a video about talking about how inspired they are by it. Like, that's what I want to be. Is I don't know if that's coming off as like super narcissistic. I don't know, but that's what I want. Like, I don't know. Story writing has always been a mode for me. Like I've always loved it, and I've always found interest in it, and I've always found comfort in it. Like it's a place of comfort for me because it's always been a place that I could escape to, and that's what I want to invest my time in, and I want to invest my effort in. I just don't know how to go about it. Like, how do you do that? I need to find someone who wants to develop a game that needs a story writer, and I need to collab with them. I think that's my way in. Another game that really, really interested me a couple of years back was Doki Doki Literature Club, and the theories around the follow-up game. Team Salvato was going to make another game that they haven't come out with, but I don't know if it's still in development or if they've just scrapped it. But I was really, really interested to see the game that they come up with. Like, Doki Doki Literature Club was fun for the memes, and you know, I watched almost everyone play it. I watched Game Grumps play it. I watched Jacksepticeye play it. I watched PewDiePie play it. I watched almost everybody play it, and it was fun. But all the theories around it and all the world that people created outside of the actual game, that was what I was more interested in, and I'm really interested to see if they actually make a game outside of that. But yeah, I apparently I need to find someone who makes video games so that I can tag in and be like, hey, let me write a story for you. I don't know. If you know anybody, please hook me up. The only person that can cheer you up is yourself. Yep, that's me. You getting it out of your system, I think, is a good thing. I like crying until I can't cry anymore sometimes. It kind of stops naturally that way for me. I have been one of those people who's known to cry. I have cried like all night. Like I've done all-nighter cries, and it hasn't happened recently. It was more when I just like when I cry, it's very rarely out of sadness. Like, it would rarely be out of sadness for myself. I'll cry out of sadness for other people, watching a movie, reading a book, but it's very rarely out of pity for myself. I will cry out of anger. I will cry out of confusion. I will cry out of frustration, but it's very rarely out of sadness. But when I am crying out of sadness, it's a long cry. It's a long cry, and it's messy, and I can't stop. Like, I have had there have been times where I will cry so much that I have to go and get water because I can't cry anymore. Thankfully, things like that haven't happened in recent memory. The last time I cried like that must have been in 2016 or 17. But yeah, those were bad times. Those were bad times, Bears. Marcus Tambeck says, you have years of compressed upsets, which you... Oh shit, it's gone. It's gone! Sorry. You have years of compressed upsets, which you put down to do your duty. This happens to many servicemen too. They push it down to stay professional, then it starts rising up years later. Yeah, that's also how I handle all of my problems now, which is just... Oof, it's not good, but it gets the work done, is what I can say. Faye, have you seen David Wood's video on Yosakadi? If not, you should check it out. I haven't yet. I'm not the biggest fan of David Wood. He's very smug, and I don't like that in people. Even people I admire, I don't like smugness. It puts me off. I like authenticity from people, and I don't like people who come off as like super sure of themselves and they can never be wrong. Like, I get that vibe off of David Wood. I've seen some of his content and I like some of his content, but a lot of it is just like the smugness really gets to me. But I'll check it out. Also, because I have a laptop that was bought for me by a patron, thank you so much, now that I can actually stream things from and I can, edit things properly from, please send me videos to react to. I would love to do react videos. I have one. So I have the video of me talking to Alidawa in person, and I'm going to do a reaction video about that. It's in editing right now. But if you want me to react to things, send me videos, because I'm actually capable of doing that now. I also don't know if I should dial back my video uploads to one video and one live stream a week, because I don't know if it's too much. You guys tell me, like, would you really be sore if I only did one video a week and one live stream a week? I don't know. Like, live streams will always be on Sundays, and I'll always upload at least one video a week. But tell me if I should cut back so that I can make time for other things. I don't know. My mind gets bored sometimes too, which is, hey, I throw myself into difficult computing things. Oh, okay. Shane Wilson, best wishes, Faye. Good night from Australia. See ya. Thank you. Marcus Tanbeck says, your human family have never been closer with the internet. Goes for all of you. Thank you. Nerdy Rodent, greatness voice versus doubt voice fight. It's like literally Mortal Kombat in here sometimes. David Lindsay, are you taking the government advice and staying at home except for work and shopping? So I can't really do that because I am a school teacher. Like, I work in schools. I can't really stay at home. So no. And the school that I work at hasn't been closed down. And also in my brain, I'm not someone who's at risk. Like, my immune system's pretty good. I don't have any breathing problems or any existing like health issues aside from like my mental health issues. So I'm not someone who's at risk, so I'm not super worried about getting the virus. I actually think I could have possibly already had it, because the last flu I had sounds very, very much like the coronavirus, because it was coughing, it was a lot of breathing problems, and I put it down like, oh, it's just the flu, but I think that I may have already had it and I don't know. So I'm not super, super worried, but yeah, I mean, if the government was suddenly like, close all schools, close everything, stay at home, I think I would take the advice, just for like, just so other people would be protected. Because now I don't know if I'm a carrier or not, because it's possible that I've already had it, so now I can be a carrier. But as for myself, I'm not super worried. Like, I think people are taking it way too far, with buying out all the shops and all the food. Like, I've had to order food because I can't buy food. Like, it's ridiculous. It's stupid and ridiculous. Like, I don't like it. Like, calm down. Calm down. David Lindsay, Nerdy Rodent says, I stay home apart from shopping anyway, and have done for years. Props to you. David Lindsay says, Faye, what is your opinion of Adam Saleh? You know what? I haven't watched a lot of his content, but when I first came across him, he comes across like discount FouseyTube, and I never liked FouseyTube to begin with. So that's I like loud YouTubers. I enjoy YouTube as a platform and the things that it brings to me. Like, Jenna Marbles is my favorite YouTuber. I love PewDiePie. I love Jacksepticeye. I love YouTube as a platform, and I love like old school YouTube. But FouseyTube, even though he was like an old school YouTuber, I could never get into his content. I always, like, even when I was a Muslim, I always found him like really obnoxious and loud and annoying. Like, I used to listen to a lot of loud and obnoxious YouTubers back in the day as well. Like, I used to watch Smosh, I used to watch Niga Higa, which is Ryan Higa, for those of you who don't follow that, Swift Karate Chop, trying to think of other ones that I used to follow that I don't follow anymore. Game Grumps is another one that I watch a lot now. I used to watch all these loud, obnoxious people, but I can never get behind FouseyTube. And every time I see Adam Saleh, it's just like, that's just discount that, right? And I didn't even like that to begin with, so fuck it. I'm not gonna watch that. But yeah, that's my opinion on Adam Saleh. I don't know what his opinions are in terms of, like, I know he's had a couple of like religion scandals, but I don't know. Nerdy Rodent, this reminds me of DeBono's Six Hats thinking method. I don't know what that is. Send me a link. I'll check it out. But that sounds interesting. Nerdy Rodent, do Loxetine and Amphetamine was what I was on. I've never tried those. They sound scary. But is anyone on antidepressants now? I could really use some advice. RNNN, hi Faye, good to see you on a live stream again. Hope you're well and stay safe from the coronavirus. Thank you, and you're a regular of mine as well, so thank you for always being here when you can make it. Rory the Swagger Husky, Neddy was responding to me about the Xbox thing. Okay. Nerdy Rodent says, the ideas in Death Stranding were definitely interesting. RNNN, is your town in lockdown? No, it's not, because I live in an area that's just full of old people and dogs. Like, there's barely anyone here, so it's all good. I don't know, to be honest, but my town isn't in lockdown. Death Stranding was a great experience. It was. Europe is getting locked down. It is slowly. One of my friends in Denmark recently posted, like, to her Instagram story that Denmark's in lockdown. She was like, give me Netflix recommendations. Nerdy Rodent says, don't burn out, just do what fits you. I don't think I'm going through a burnout. I definitely went through a burnout last December, where I just wasn't posting and I just wanted like a break from everything, like a break from the universe. Like, my whole of December was spent watching garbage television, eating poorly, and just making what I wanted, which is what I do on YouTube anyway. And I think that's what makes me happy, and I will always just make what I want to make. So yeah. RNNN, don't do over videos, Faye, you'll burn out. I don't feel like I'm overdoing them. Sometimes I feel like there's a pressure. Like, this week felt like I was really pressured to make videos, which is why I didn't make them. Because I was like, I shouldn't make them if I'm feeling pressured. I should only make them if I want to make them. And that's always been my philosophy. But I also understand, like, consistency and always, like, needing to put something out, just because this isn't just about me anymore. It's about you guys as well sometimes. So, I will take breaks, and there's like a little community page that YouTube has now that I'll post to and be like, hey, I'm not posting anything this week, if I'm really not feeling up to it. And I really wasn't feeling up to it this week. Like, fuck no, I wasn't going to post anything this week. This week was just a train crash of a week. But yeah, I will not post if I feel pressured to post. That's always been the way that I've thought. I should only, like, especially with creative process, like, if you are not invested in creating, you shouldn't be creating. Like, you should be invested in it. That's how I feel about my creative process. So if I'm uploading regularly, you don't need to worry about me. Like, genuinely, you don't need to worry about me. But you know, if anything starts feeling forced or disingenuous, I need you guys to vibe check me, because that mindset will quickly, like, there have been periods in my life where I was just being a completely different person to who I was, and those were dark periods. It was very much like a defense mechanism because I needed to be someone else. But it was a dark time and it really ate me up inside. So if anything starts feeling, you know, disingenuous or fake or inauthentic, I need you guys to start picking up on it and telling me, like, you've changed. um, Faye, what subject do you teach? So I don't teach a specific subject. I tutor in English. That's like literature because that is something that I enjoy the most. I also do, I'll integrate history and humanities, so like religion, geography, bits of humanity into my English tutoring. But my profession is that I support students who have learning difficulties and mental difficulties. So that's my profession. But on the side, I tutor in English. So I'm an educator. That's my title. Faye, you are at risk. You're not in danger though. If you think you are, or you already had it, get yourself tested. Uh, can I get myself? I might get myself tested. If it's possible to test it, then I might get myself tested. Um, OGW Iman did a good video on the virus. Link, please. I want to see it because I'm trying to find more content, more honest content. Because I thought, like, if I ended up getting the coronavirus, what I would do is I would make a 14-day vlog. Well, not like actually 14 days long, but like every day I would do like an update on how I'm doing, because I feel like there's a lot of hysteria and there's a lot of conflicting reports from news sources, and like as an educator, a lot of my kids are freaking out. And I don't like that. I don't like hysteria. I've always believed in, like, even in the worst situations, you can retain calm. There's always time for grief and hysteria afterwards. There's always time for that. But right now, we have a situation that we need to take care of, and we need to deal with that calmly. I thought that if I ended up getting it, what I would do is do 14 days. Every day I would upload a vlog because I'd be at home anyway. I'd upload a vlog and it'd be super easy, or I'll do a live stream and I'd just talk about that day and how it went and what I was doing and how I was feeling. And obviously it would be an isolated experience, but I feel like for anyone who is scared of it or has it, it would be comforting because there's someone else who's also going through it, you know? So that was my idea, and anyone else who's like going through it and wants to seal that, go for it. Like, because I'm looking for that. I'm looking for vlogs of people who have it so that I can understand what it's like, you know? So yeah, that's what, you know what I'm saying? Is that making sense? I'll search One Godless Woman if she's made a video. But yeah, what's bothering me the most is that a lot of my friends are freaking out. Some of my friends are not freaking out at all. There's a lot of conflicting reports, and I just don't know. Like, my general attitude to everything in the world is I don't fucking care. That's my general attitude. Until you make me care about something, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's generally been my attitude towards Brexit. It's been my attitude towards Trump, Boris Johnson, coronavirus. Unless you make me care about it, unless it, like, I am driven to understand something that I can care about, I don't care. And like, this confusion is also not helping. The tabloids grabbing onto this and sensationalizing this, not helping. The hysteria and the fucking toilet paper memes, not helping. You know, it's not helping my mentality, which should be a lot more serious about it, being, I don't fucking care. I just, like, it's stupid. People are treating it like it's the zombie apocalypse. Like, this is Walking Dead, you know? And I don't like it. Just calm down. Talk like normal human beings. Use your fucking words, you know? Like, it bothers me. It bothers me. It bothers me. Marcus Tanbeck, yes, we had minor hoarding emptying in a few stores here, but luckily the retailers are well supplied, so nobody is out of common goods. Exactly. Hashtag use your words. Use your fucking words. I'm like angry about it. um, but yeah, like a few people have like sent me pictures of like entire shelves just being like completely empty. Like pasta's gone, canned goods are gone. Like I looked up, so I've just been like researching on all the health websites. Like if I get it, what do I need? So I can stock up on like on non-perishables. So like things that I would need would be like, so something I have that I might need is like tampons, even though I don't really get my periods anymore, because I have an IUS put in. Nothing to worry about. Pasta, canned goods like baked beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, things like that. I have a flashlight in the house if the power goes out. Like people have just people being stupid, but I have a flashlight and I have things. I'm a survivalist. It's fine. If I really need to kill an animal and eat it, I will be able to. But like I was looking for, and I went to the Tesco's and there's like nothing there. Like who is buying out? There's no toilet paper, and like as someone who washes with water because of my upbringing, you know who's using like 200 years worth of toilet paper for 14 days? What is wrong with you? You know, like what is going on? But yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna go back to the supermarket tomorrow to pick up some non-perishables, like some canned goods and some, carbs essentially, and see what I can get my hands on. It's just ridiculous. Like shopping was already a pain, and now it's even more of a pain. I'm gonna have to take my granny trolley there and like cart back all of my stuff. I'm so regretting not buying shares in Andrex. I'm so regretting that. Like, I wish I had bought shares in Andrex and in Carex, because those are the people that are making money right now. But my camera is actually fucking dying. I'm on 4%, so I have to go. But it's been a wonderful time, just sitting and like talking out my mind, because even though I did this last week, I felt like I needed to do it again just by myself, in my room, and just talk about what's been bothering me a little. And thank you for having me. And also, anything you want me to react to, anyone you want me to collab with, anything you want me to like meme edit, send it to me, because now I have the capacity to do that. Because I have a laptop that I can work from, and I can't tell you how grateful I am to have this laptop now. But thank you, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully on Wednesday. And yeah, I have a video planned for that. I have some stuff to edit, and I will see you in the next video. And if not in the next video, in the next stream, because I will always stream, even if it's just to talk shit and talk nonsense. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.